So the main topics I'll be covering the key impact moments and where to from here. So my journey at Seasol started in late August last year when my mom introduced me to my mentor now, Malcolm Freeman. I was excited to become a Seasol student, but after sitting at home for almost a month post-travel, I felt restless and bored. I lost my routine and was struggling to adjust to life in Cape Town, trying to figure out how to start all over again. I was angry, wearing a serious persona, and didn't want to interact with anyone. So pretty much to give you a background on that, when I came to Seasalt, I was very selective on who I wanted to interact with. I was very closed shell, and that was my comfort. Moving forward, attending the workshops was a turning point in my journey. One memorable session involved sitting on the chairs, as you can see right there. You can see I'm very serious. That was who I was. Sitting on the chairs, which basically it had colors and animals that aligned with each color's characteristics. I landed on the red chair. So I did this workshop twice. This is the red chair right here. This is the green chair, I believe. Yeah. And that was the starting point, which presented someone who, lashed out as an angry person and speaks out of anger without thinking. It was a real eye-opener. Okay, so right here, it's me attending workshops, networking with businesses and learning skills like barista, training in customer care, sewing, beading, jewelry making, gardening at an old age home. That was a really nice one that I got to do. And even speaking at Cape Peninsula's Suite Hotel to doctors and nurses. Those experiences have empowered me to confidently speak in large groups. Over 50 people. I've also been inspired to start my own hustle, designing custom-made, handmade bracelets. Usually I wear them, but because of work, I'm not allowed to wear it. For customers, yeah. Right now I can say I'm a visionary leader. I'm no longer held back by my self-pity. Yeah, I used to actually have self-pity. Self-pity means, when you feel sorry for yourself, you basically just, you want people to feel sorry for you because of the situation you're in and not realizing on how to come out of that. Okay, so through sea salt, I've built strong friendships and a solid network. I'm currently working at Kids Innovate Africa as an elementary coach, where I teach math and science to empower students to get excited about STEM subjects. So children don't, in this day and age, children don't really love doing math and science. So basically they come to robotics and we make it fun for them. So through robotics, they learn how to build robots, they use numbers, and of course, learning about STEM, what's happening globally around the world. My goal is to expose them to exciting opportunities available globally in this field. So here, this is where it all started. I learned how to sew. Please correct me, Malcolm. This is Judy Purr. This is the late Judy Purr, Malcolm's mom, who taught me how to actually put a bag together. And so that is the product you see. That is me still sewing. Lewis, basically right there, if you've met him, he will help me polish up my work. So he will help me to, he'll correct me on where I need to go wrong. And also at that time from the beginning, Tafaz will help me actually fix this part, it's called the bobbin. So basically I messed it up and I was afraid to ask Malcolm's mom for help because then I'll just be afraid she'll probably shout. So then Tafaz would assist. So this was my highlight here. Can I play this video? I'm not sure.
I can try.
Okay, so this is my highlight. Speaking at the Cape Peninsula Suite Hotel, I also got to stay at the hotel for almost a week. This is us here. I'm here with Lewis. We were selling some of the products that Lewis had made, like he crafted the bags and I did the jewelry, so they're up there on display. And yeah, so funny story on this. My mom made me sit next to her after she did her presentation. And then she just said, no, just sit here. And I sat. At the end, she says, okay, now Melanie, you have to now talk about sea salt. And yeah, that caught me at a really shock. But then, yeah, she said I did well. And that is actually how I get to speak and do my presentation. I don't think I want you guys. How do I move it? Okay. So this says, so part of being sea salt, I attended workshops. This is the first workshop. This is the workshop that I didn't really like, but because we had to really stare at each other and say some of the things that we really like about each other, and yeah, I think that was the main thing. And then this one, yeah, it was also another workshop. And here we were collecting non-perishable foods for the elderly before Christmas and telling others about sea salt. This is also where I built my confidence, getting to speak to people. I don't shy out. Yeah, I'm not afraid as well. And then here, learning how to sew, getting my nails done by a sea salt student. So this is one of the people, in case one of the questions will pop up, who was the closest person I was? Her. I will say why, because we connected through the same language. We both speak Swahili, but from two different countries. So, yes. Designing and making earrings and bracelets for market days. So this is us in a workshop, learning how to make bracelets and make like custom bracelets. We were being taught by a guy called, is it Muhammad? Yeah, Muhammad. Yeah. And this was us gardening at an old age home. I was basically gardening with an umbrella because it was so hot on that day. And Christian borrowed me his umbrella. Yeah. And this was sealing and packaging bracelets for market day. Attending MTN Breakfast Club, networking. This is also one of my favorite highlights. I got to meet this girl. She was just standing quietly somewhere, and I went to her and I said, what do you do? What's your interest? And she just happened to say that she also designs bracelets, and she goes to market days. So she was sharing with me some of the markets that she goes to that I can also go to and meet her. And then, yeah, we see how life goes from there. And then this was us preparing fruit platters for Rotary. Yeah, and this was also really nice. I think the two are also videos again, but of us dancing on this side at the auditorium. So yeah, this was a dance session with Caitlin and working backstage at Blowback. I think this was my favorite one that I got to do with the kids. I was working backstage and I had to get them dressed up for shows, so I had to get them excited. Some would panic, one of the girls, she couldn't tie a shoelace, so she said she'll miss the show, but I had to encourage her to, just go ahead and dance without the shoes. So, yeah, that was really lekker. Oh, yes, and yeah, I would like to pay special tribute to Juniper for teaching me how to sew. That is something that I've always wanted to learn. One of the things that I think I will carry with me from sea salt, and also, just remembering her throughout this whole journey. She really left a spark in my heart. And yeah, she will leave a light, I'm sure, because of this machine here. Is it this, Marco? Yeah, because of this machine. And as you guys get to teach each other as well, you pass on that legacy. So, yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Mel. Any questions? Sean.
How did you deal with conflict at sea salt?
How did I deal with conflict? question. So coming to sea salt, Malcolm helped me identify what I need to deal with. At first, it happened when I think an incident with Lewis, not this Lewis, this tall one, Kopani, yeah. And I asked him, how do I go about it? And for me, it was, how do I sort this person out instead of identifying the problem that I had first within me. The way I had addressed him, because he was angry, we were both two angry people, and because you're not identifying that I was angry at the first point, so yeah, being able to identify what was wrong with me, I was able to, encountering other incidents helped me to overcome, not really overcome, but handle it better. Yeah. Any other questions?
Can you describe your worst day and what you learned from it?
My worst day, it was when I lashed out here in front of a group of my fellow students when I was so angry. Yeah, the question, sorry. So that was what happened.
What happened and what did you learn from that day, from that experience?
I learned, things can be dealt with better when you communicate. I've also learned, one of the things I've learned in CSOP is to communicate. And that can actually fix things. And checking your tone when you're addressing an issue. Yeah.
Cool. Questions? Storm? No. So for another question from my side. So obviously there's been a number of students throughout the cohorts that you've connected with. Who are the three who stand out to you, and what is it about them that you have learned from them?
The
three that you've learned something from. What have you learned from them? Doesn't have to be who you're close to. It's just which three students have you learned the most from?
Not you. So I'll say Daniel.
Interesting.
Lewis, the tall guy Lewis. And Tafadzwa.
Okay.
I learned from Daniel is to persevere, working hard. From Lewis, take up any challenge. From Tafadzwa, always think positive.
Interesting.
Because I will emphasize on that, when I started sea salt, I didn't see the point of coming to sea salt at some stage. So I'd rock up whenever I wanted, and yeah, but he kept saying to me, you will miss out, you will miss out. He will always give you those short words and leave you with a question mark on top of your head. Until I got to meet you later, when I just rocked up one early day, and she told me about the job opportunity, and that's how I ended up at Kids Innovate Africa.
Yeah, so I think it's such a key thing, because remember that every day you show up, if you show up late, that's a representation of who you are. And I refer often to it as like, how do you show up to church? Do you show up late?
Not at all.
But I'm just saying, why do you then show up late to work? Do you see what I'm saying? It's that kind of thing. The same way, like, we often pray about we want something to happen, but we will often not pitch up and not do our part to that. Like, it's like we have this different expectation. So it's like you want opportunities, but you weren't prepared to necessarily be there all the time that needed to be there.
Yeah.
So talk about that. How did that shift in terms of your mindset? Because you started coming in every day and you started getting a lot more opportunities coming through. If you look at the comparison from last year to this year.
Yeah, it's definitely a big shift. how's it changed for me? Sure. Will you break it up in simple terms?
So, what is different from last year where you didn't come in all the time and you didn't get many opportunities? To this year, you got a lot more opportunities which culminated in a job.
So one of the things you said to me, I remember, it's finding that one thing to motivate me to work towards that I can work towards that and see the result at the end of the day. And also changing my mentality, because if I have to allow my emotions or moods to control me, then that's what my life is going to look like. Yeah, so basically discipline as well.
It's an interesting. Cool. Any last questions? Going once? Going twice? Right, so I think just to wrap it up from my side, Mel, I've seen incredible growth, especially this year. I think last year you were very much in your own head. You hadn't seen necessarily the value of showing up every day and being present. And I think I've seen a massive change in that this year, where you changed that mindset. And I think that shift in mindset created a spiral and a ripple effect that is building positively. Your confidence has gone through the roof, and I think that is because you're finally believing in yourself. And that to me is a big takeaway of what I've seen over the past 6 months. And I think it's going to go from here, it's just going to skyrocket in terms of knowing who you are, what you want out of life. And you speak beautifully to the audience.
Thank you.
Be careful not to speak to the slide.
The slide. Gotcha.
Okay, but amazing. Well done. That is Melanie. Thank you very much.